Yes boys, welcome back to another video. This is the third video on the channel. The channel's growing quite nicely, so thanks to everyone who subscribed, liked, commented. It's really helping me out. The more guys we get subscribed and commenting, the quicker we can grow the channel, get more content out. There's a lot of plans for the future, but we just got to grow this account a bit more and then we can really crack on. I want to open a Telegram or a Discord. I want to do more giveaways. There's so much we want to do. We just got to keep growing this account. So everyone who's been getting involved, thank you. So in my last video, I was talking about some tips and hints to improve your betting. And one of the things I mentioned was tracking your bets. This thing is key. If you do this, I promise you, you improve your win rate and you'll win more bets. I promise you. It makes you more accountable. You can see exactly what you're doing, where it's going right, where it's going wrong. The spreadsheet is going to look basic as anything. It is. It's nothing fancy. But, you know, you don't need to be fancy in this game. If you want to earn money, just keep it simple. Learn from your mistakes and you will improve. And this is going to help you massively. So let's dive in. Let me show you how to use it and how it's going to help you massively. Okay, so here it is, guys. I told you it was basic. I told you it was basic. And you're probably thinking, what is this? This is not going to help me. But believe me, this will be the best betting tool you have ever come across. It's so basic, but it's going to improve your win rate. I promise you. I promise you. Very simple. So when you find a match you want to bet on, you enter the date, you put in the fixture there, what market, over 0.5 goals, corners, or a straight win, you know what I mean. The odds, the stake you're putting in, the profit or loss, and then the reason why you're placing the bet, and your stress out of 10 / emotion out of 10. So these two and this column here, hindsight comments, are going to be the key 3 things in this logbook, which you can look back on and you can see where you've gone wrong and you will improve. So let me explain it quickly. So these bits here, you understand. Now the reason will be, before you place the bet, there must be something what sprung to mind when you're watching a match as to why you want to place this bet. So is there a team dominating? Has there been certain subs been made? Has there been loads of shots? Is it an FA Cup game where a team has to score in the last few minutes to get through? Things like that you need to enter into the reason box to back up why you've placed this bet, right? Now, the stress column, that's a key one as well, right? Because when it comes to betting, a massive part of it is what your emotion is, right? And you're probably thinking, what is this guy on about? Which I get. But listen up. Say you've started the morning, you've placed a few bets, and you've lost all your bets so far. 3 out of 3, you've lost them all. If you're stressed out, right, you're going to start trying to chase your losses, put down bets you don't normally do. You might increase your stake, and that's when you lose the plot and everything goes wrong. When you place your bets in this logbook, I want you to be truthful in this section, right? So if you're sitting there and you're stressed out and you're looking for a bet and your day's not going well, it's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. It doesn't even have to be to do with betting. It could be just life in general if you're stressed, because that can affect it as well. Your missus is shouting at you and slapping you all morning. Your dog's barking. Your dog's shat all over the floor. Your neighbours are pissing you off. That can all affect your betting, believe it or not, because it's affecting your mentality. You're getting stressed and you're going to be placing bets which you don't do normally. So each time you place a bet, just sit there for a moment and just think about how you actually feel before you place this bet. Are you nice and calm, or are you stressed as shit? The profit column, that's obvious. We don't need to go through that. Just you lose, you put what your stake was, -10, for example. If you win and the profit's £20, bang, £20. Now the hindsight section, and again, this is really important. So you need to fill this column in whenever your bet loses. And you need to fill it in for the reasons why this bet lost. Now this could be, again, this could relate to the stress column. You could write, I was so stressed, I wasn't thinking properly, I was an 8 out of 10 with stress, and this is why this bet messed up. Or say you was really calm, you're 1 out of 10, you're calm, you placed the bet. However, in hindsight, when you placed the bet for, say, over 0.5 goals with 20 minutes to go in a match, you didn't look at the head-to-head history of these two teams. And let's say the history of both teams in the last 5 matches, every game is 0-0 or 1-0. There's never been a lot of goals. Again, you shouldn't have placed the bet, because history shows that they don't score much. So in hindsight comments, you can be like, okay, I missed out on looking at the head-to-head. There's barely any goals. That's where the bet went wrong. Okay, so let's put in some example matches and let's fill out this logbook. This website's called Who Scored. It shows you in-depth stats of the match. You can look at all these bits here and you can see the timeline of when these things happened. For example, 25 shots, each stick represents a shot. If the stick is double the size, it means there was 2 shots within a space of 1 minute during the game. And then here's half time here. So let's pretend it's half time. It's 1-0 to West Ham. You can see here total shots up to half time. Brighton had loads, West Ham only had 2. And if we take a look at corners, again up to half time, West Ham only had 3 corners. Brighton had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. Now, if you watched the game live, you would have seen that Brighton were getting loads of shots at West Ham. And West Ham's goalie, Areola, he's a great shot stopper. However, he's not very good at holding the ball. He parries the ball so much. So that's why Brighton were getting loads of corners. So at half time, it's 1-0 to West Ham. You know Areola is going to get a lot more shots in the second half. Brighton are going to pile on the pressure. They're going to shoot tons more. Areola's going to hit more behind the goal for more corners. So in the market section, let's put that we put in a bet of over, let's say 15 corners. Oopsie. Now, I'm not sure what the odds would have been, but let's say the odds were 1.6, maybe. Stake was £10. Now, the reason why we placed the bet is just what I said then. So, Areola parries, I don't know if that's the right way to spell it, but you know what I mean. Parries shots, Brighton to pile on pressure, plenty of shots. Stress at this time, you know, it's the first bet of the day. Very calm, no stress. Let's put a 2 out of 10. The match continues. They end up with 17 corners, so the bet wins. So for the profit here, we can put £6 profit. Obviously, the return was 16. Take away your stake, which was 10, so you're left with £6 profit. I've just noticed that we've got profit twice. So let's delete that one. And now, because the bet won, there's no really hindsight comments to put in. You can if you want, but as the bet come in, what's the point? It's all good. Okay, the next game we're going to look at is Arsenal versus Man United. So it gets to about the 65th minute, and over 2.5 goals would have been around 1.4, I'd imagine, maybe even higher actually, maybe 1.5. And it's still lively, both teams are shooting, and there's been a lot of chances, so it's highly likely there's going to be a goal. And then Harry Maguire comes on. You know, his career at Man U hasn't been that great. He's full of mistakes. His confidence is low as anything, right? And then another stat which backed up my idea that there would be another goal is their pass head-to-heads. So if we look from the 2nd of December all the way till the 22nd of Jan, look how many goals there's been. So there's 5, 4, 4, 5. There's always goals. And this game is currently 1-1. It's very attacking. It's looking very likely. It then gets the 76th minute, and Arteta puts on Jesus. We all know Jesus is a world-class player. He scores goals for fun. He's great at assists too. It's looking good. So we're going to put in over 1.5, over 2.5 goals. Now, Jesus, he come on the 76th minute. So for a goal to happen, I imagine it was about 1.9, I think. So the stake 10, reason. Basically everything I just said then, but I'll just put in Jesus on, Maguire's on. Poor Maguire. Both sides attacking, history, lots of goals. Just keep it nice and short. Stress levels, all good, so we're going to put a 1. The bet comes in, £9 profit, bang. So this is when the logbook will come in very handy. The next bet we're going to look at is Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. So let's say we're watching the game, we've got to half time. Chelsea have got all the possession. They're putting on all the shots. They've got a lot more shots than Forest. How many corners? They've got 8 corners. I don't know, it's not showing the times for corners, but I imagine at half time they would have had more corners than Forest because Forest had 0. So at half time it was 0-0. So let's just say we put a bet for Chelsea to win. So we put in the date, the match, Chelsea to win. At half time, I don't know what the odds would have been, but I'm going to go with 1.6. The reason being, Chelsea at home spent a lot of money, for example, all possession and more shots. Let's pretend we've already lost 2 bets this morning. So, you know, we're a bit stressed. We're an 8. We're trying to chase our losses. This must come in. Chelsea have got to win at home, surely. They've spent all this money. Odds are 1.6. That's good. Put a 10 on it. Let's see what happens. And what happens? Nottingham Forest score just after half time, and they go on to win the match. Oopsie. So we put -10. Now, this is when the hindsight column will come in handy. So let's pretend before we placed the bet, we didn't look at any head-to-heads, we didn't look at the past results of both teams. So let's dive in and have a look at that. So Forest, they've had a bit of a rocky start, but if you look at their away games this season so far, they've had Arsenal away. That is really tough. But it was only 2-1. They didn't do too bad. And then they had Man U away. Again, a very tough game. Debatable. Just kidding, just kidding. Again, it was only 3-2. So they're only 1 goal behind. So they gave both these big teams a lot of trouble. And then if we look at Chelsea's form, again, for the amount of money they've spent, it hasn't been great. You could say the Liverpool game result was quite good, but again, they're at home. They lost 3-1 to West Ham. Luton, you can scrap that game. And then they beat Wimbledon only 2-1, which again, they should be winning a lot more. Even if they're just playing their bench, they should be beating AFC Wimbledon by 3-4 goals. And another thing to mention, Chelsea have spent loads of money, but their whole squad is new basically. So they're still gelling. They haven't got the tactics right. They don't know how each other play properly. So again, that's another hindsight comment. So we typed that in. Didn't look at past results. Nottingham Forest, tough away start, but did well. Chelsea gelling. And stress was 8. Right. So if you fill out this logbook for every bet you do for a couple of weeks, or even just a week, even a month, entirely up to you, you will start to spot trends with your bets. So is there certain markets you bet on which usually win most of the time? Or is there certain markets which you do terrible on? You better see that all down here. Again with odds. When you do odds of like 3 or 4, they lose all the time. Or when you do odds of 1.5, 1.6, they come in more. What do you do better on? Again, your stake should always be staying the same. But you never know. If you lose your head, you start doubling your stake and you're trying to chase your losses. And you see in that table that you've put in different stakes and you're just losing your mind again. You can see all that. Now this reason box helps just before you're placing the bet. Throw away your hard-earned money. You can put the reasoning behind your bet to support your claim. That way you're more accountable and you can back up your bet. And if it loses, you don't have to stress so much because you've got your reasons behind it. Well, that's what you think. That's what you think until after, if the bet doesn't come in and you sit there and you scratch your head, you're like, but I had my reasons behind the bet. For example, the Chelsea game. Chelsea are at home. They spent a lot of money, all the possession, more shots. But then you missed out on looking at past results and who Forest have played in the past. And you sit and you think, oh man, that's why. So ideally, you don't want many in here, but you're gonna. That's a fact. Another good thing this logbook is for, say you want to test a new market which you don't usually bet on. Say you never betted on corners before and you want to give it a go. You can use this to log all your matches, all your reasoning, all your odds, and see how you do. You don't even have to place the bets. You can just use fake money, put in the odds, put stakes of 10, do this for about a week or 2 and see how you end up. That way you're not losing money. If the bets come in, you've missed out on winning money. Let's lower the chances of losing any money. Let's see how we do with fake money. And then over the space of a couple of weeks, if it's working well, then you can introduce using real money, placing real bets, because you've got your research here to prove that it works. And then on the other side, if you've tried a new market, which you don't usually do, and you've used fake money, and after 2 weeks you can see you've lost £1,000, you're like, oh, okay, maybe not. Let's not do that. Let's leave that one alone. The whole thing just makes you more accountable and more careful when it comes to placing bets, which is so important. It's so important, trust me. Now remember, this logbook is simple, but it's powerful. Trust me, you're going to see some mad results after a few weeks of using it, and it's going to help you. Okay guys, so that's the logbook. The download link will be in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this video and it's helped you out and you're going to give it a go, please like the video because it really helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button, because in the future I might be posting videos which talk about the upcoming football at the weekend, so you want to see these videos as soon as they come out. If you think this logbook's going to help you and you're going to use it, make sure you download it and comment below that you're going to use it. Let me know, and then we can see how you do in a few weeks, okay? But just make sure you comment below. Let me see who's going to try it out. Just let me know. And that's that, guys. I shall see you in the next video. Peace.